7,180 pounds, the Passport 3351BH bath and a half bunkhouse with a dedicated bunk room slide, as well as a big living room super slide here at Haylett RV of Coldwater, Michigan. 7,180 pounds, not too bad considering the length of this thing. Previously known as the 3350BH, when they went through what I'm calling the Passport 2.0 update phase, this thing gained so much in the way of good looks and great features. At a glance, when you first pop in the door, you look over here and you go, ah, crap. I can't get to nothing. I can't get to the fridge. I can't get to the kitchen. I can't get to the bedroom. But the thing is, for travel access, you don't really need to use this door. For traveling access, you're not going to use that front door. You're actually going to pop back here to the half bath door. So you always have bathroom access in transit. Now, you can get kitchen access in transit if you plan ahead. When this slide is closed, this door will not fully open or closed. So what you need to do before you leave, you need to plan on having this door open, and then put like a little door stop or something down there. And I actually recommend putting a little like foam or felt backer on this so that this door is not banging against the refrigerator in transit. But if you plan ahead and you do that, you can get in here, you can get to the fridge, you can get to the storage in the dinette, we can get to a chunk of the storage below the sink to the counter space. So if you really had to, you had to stop and make like a little sandwich travel stop, you could absolutely do that here if you plan ahead. And they just did such a good job on this one of writing that delicate fine line between space and storage and living room and kitchen and comfort. And it has all the right stuff in all the right places and in just the right quantities. One of the Passport 2.0 updates that this floor plan benefits from is that new vaulted ceiling. It really opens it up in here and makes this thing look great. I don't use a fisheye camera lens. That's what it really looks like. We upgrade every single one of our Passport GTs with the larger 15,000 BTU air conditioner. It's so cheap, it's just silly not to do it. What are the updates? Bam! Look at that motion sense light kicking on. You can have that in on, off, or motion mode. What I like about it is it's an awesome welcome home light. If you're going to be gone for a while, you click it on to motion mode, which is setting number 2 in case you're curious. And it won't be on the whole time. It won't collect bugs by the door. If you're boondocking, it won't be eating your battery alive. It only turns on if and when you need it. Now you see that skylight up above. That is actually a vent that does open for airflow. So in conjunction with the kitchen window and your slide side windows, everything in this opens for airflow, basically. That also lets a lot of cooking heat out of the RV since it's at the apex of the vaulted ceiling. All the heat will organically pool up there and just whisk its way out of there. Passport 2.0 GT series now has the larger 8 cubic foot refrigerator freezer, so that is 33% bigger than it used to be. Nobody ever complains about having extra storage. The updates to the kitchen countertops here, going to a pressed membrane, is also very welcome by a lot of people. But what I love is how they give you full, easy access to all of the storage around that peninsula. And that's something that Passport has been good about for several seasons now. But it's shocking how many brands will give you this huge countertop and all this cabinet space and like no way to get to it. You have to grab one of your kids by the ankles and shove them in there and pull them back out like you're playing Hungry Hippos with your kids. Passport 2.0 GT series now has, they've always had drawers, but previously it was a drawer in a door system, which is, it's okay, but it's kind of annoying. So now they just have traditional drawers. We've got high-rise sprayer faucet right here, and right below that, we've got this recessed sink, and it's a big old stainless farm sink. So if you've got big pots and pans, actually guys, depending on the age of the kids, this floor plan, more than a lot of them, is very tiny baby friendly. So if you've got like a virtual newborn, you could do a little baby sink bath right there. And because this is all a sealed edge countertop with that recessed stove, you've got good counter space for prep, as well as the ability, if the kid splashes some water around, no big deal. And I love that they're not just giving you a space for a wastebasket, they're actually including it down here. It's just those little details that separate brands X, Y, and Z. Now up top here, I want to note, if you look at that microwave, then you follow the cabinet across. You notice how the cabinetry is not recessed and sunken back? It's because Passport is not wasting potential cabinet space. A lot of brands, to stay a little bit lighter and a little less expensive, they will sink this back 2 or 3 or 4 inches. Well, not here. Now we've actually got good, like, you know, plates and cereal space and all that. But speaking of storage, the one thing you haven't seen so far is a pantry. And what's kind of cool is this floor plan actually has a couple of them. One is located over here. And what's neat is this floor plan allows you to really pack up and get the RV ready according to how you want to camp. So if you want to use this as a pantry, or if you want to use it as linen space, I would say as kids storage, but when we get to the bunkhouse, you're going to see you do not need it for kids storage space. You will also notice that down here below the dinette, we have easy access doors so you can get to the storage below those dinette bench ends as well. Now for bonus guest sleeping, this floor plan gets all the A+ marks in the world. You can see how we have the pleated night shades to knock out the daylight. There's a little indirect light in a couple places, like you can see one there below the dinette. If you're not a big fan of the blue, turn it off. No big deal. Nothing says you have to use it. It's just there if you want to. So this is a true U-dinette, which means it's not like an industry phrase. It's just a thing that I came up with. To me, it means it's a 7-foot long dinette and it's 44 inches deep. You can see how it actually sticks out past the slide out itself. So it is a large sleeper. 2 kids, easy. Frankly, an adult can sleep on there. And that's another one of the nice parts of Passport 2.0 is the upgrade to a trifold sleeper sofa. Now you might notice I've got all the main cabin lights off right now, and it's somewhat representative of what I call stealth mode, which is when you have all the main lights off. But you might notice how these lights are still on here, but they're very dim. These lights within the slide are on a dimmer switch. So if you want a white accent light for evening use, you have one there. Or you've got those little blue lights to be able to see your way around. But either way, you've got great sleeping capacity in this. And that's the thing. This thing can sleep like 8, 9 adults. It's not just a kid's sleeper. So we can sleep everybody, we can feed everybody, but we can also keep everybody entertained. If you need a little break from the weather, you need to come in, or if you're trying to get the kids slowed down at night, you're going to appreciate the good entertainment setup they have on here. And that's something that bunkhouses historically, and by and large still today, most bunkhouses have pretty crappy entertainment arrangements. But you might notice, if I back up a little bit, how that wall with the TV is organically angled toward the entertainment center. But note too, if you want to get right up and close and personal to the entertainment, that TV does swing out to be even more easily viewed, a no neck wrecker from especially the sofa, but really any of the slide seating. So there's really not a bad seat in the house. Now remember how I said there's a second pantry here? That's right by the entry door. So you can really pack this thing up different ways how you want. You could, really kind of utilize one side as a coat closet. You could add more shelving, make more pantry space. There's really just nothing wasted here. They utilized every little nook and cranny they possibly could. Flipping us back around the other direction, the only problem I have with this floor plan is it has so many neat things that kind of lead one into the other that I can't really follow like a normal order of operations when I'm putting these in together. But what we have right here, this is really the signature calling card of this floor plan, is that it's a 1.5 bath big old bunkhouse that's still very half-ton towable due to the axle arrangement as well as the lightweight nature of this thing. But what's kind of cool, what this does for us, it means that we have a toilet right here for the kids if they need to get up and down at night, but we also have a dedicated bathroom for mom and dad right up next to their bed, so no one has to walk past each other at night. And I want to pause just a second to note that there is a full closing privacy door here. When this floor plan was first debuted as a 3350 Passport, it lacked a door and had just a curtain. And you can see, obviously, it doesn't have that anymore. You have a little bit more privacy. I like to call this mom and dad's sanity room because you can just shut the door. So we've got what I like to call the converter cubes down below here. And obviously I've got the one flipped up in a funky fashion, but to kind of show you, you could use this as a lounge. These could be sofas. They can both fold down into independent bed spaces. And that's what's neat about this. You still have the ability to sleep 4 individual people here, especially if you flip down that overhead bunk above. And you've got great window coverage in here. Every window opens for airflow. And like I said, you can flip these things around to any way, shape, and form you want. You need sofas, you need sleeping. It's got a little bit of everything. But remember when I said this was pack and play friendly? How about that? How about the fact that there's absolutely nothing that says you have to leave those little cube units here? So if you get this RV and you have a family and you have a new baby, or if you're planning to expand the family, you have a great ability to bring a pack and play with you, where a lot of RVs simply don't accommodate babies like that, tiny little babies. Now, one of the options, the very few options, there's not many options available on Passport RVs, but one of the few things is that You can upgrade this one to 50 amp service to make it ready for a second air, as we have done here. That's what that little junction box is next to the roof vent. Now that rear wall is set and ready for entertainment. Again, all the windows open for airflow, which is great. Up top here, we have what I like to call a big kid bunk. It's a little bit wider. It's great for the older kids to be able to sleep corner to corner. And down below here, we have a... I looked it up, I Googled it, and Google said it's a redonkulous amount of storage. And it is awesome, the storage capacity you have here. We'll start down on the end just so you don't miss anything. The doors are big and it's easy to miss, but these are huge cavities. What's really cool, whether it's sleeping bags or duffel bags, you know what else is really handy right here? You can leave things like individual totes with each of the kids' individual clothes in there, like those little, cloth cube organizers. You can throw their whole duffel bag in here. You know what else would be handy is a laundry basket for yesterday's clothes. This could easily be a catch-all space, a big old bulky space. Now it's easy to miss, but there's an equal amount of deep storage back here, but you've got these slats in front of it. Because they bulk these up, these slats double as the ladder to get the kids to the upper bed. So, you know, it's very barefoot friendly. The kids can clamber up and down. You don't have to heave them into the upper bunk. Plus, down below, extra little kind of like dresser space or shoe garage space or toy chest space or anything you want, frankly. Well, what about mom and dad? Well, the good news, you guys get treated pretty well too. Tiny little detail. Something I noticed I really appreciate. This light right here, this is on a completely separate circuit, or well, switch system from everything else. So it's a great little like night light. If you have somebody sleeping in the living room, it's very easy for them to be able to see and navigate their way over to, I'm going to call this the master bathroom. Another area where Passport 2.0 updates really help this floor plan. The vaulted ceiling, and they didn't even used to have a skylight, means this is now tall person friendly, where previously it was not. And instead of an angle shower, we've got a big old radius shower here. So this is big adult friendly. And it's a shower, not a tub. I know that's something a lot of people have been looking for at bunkhouses for a while. More and more RV manufacturers are finally getting on board with that. So we got a foot flush stool, good leg room, dual entry doors, full privacy. Then we've got a full privatized front bedroom. I want to make a quick note on this. Passport GTs, with the exception of this one, have 60 by 80 residential queen beds. Because this RV is already pretty darn long, they didn't want to make it longer than they had to. It is a short queen. However, if you want to upgrade to a residential queen, they did leave you enough room where you could do it and still scoot around the bed. So they planned ahead for that, which is great. Your side stands have household USB outlets. They're wide open. They're very CPAP friendly. You can charge your phones there. Heated blankets, all kinds of things, you know. We've got mirrored hanging wardrobe closets and a full overhead shelf here. Not to mention the fact that that vaulted ceiling once again makes this room look and feel not so little. And I tell you, it's just eye candy, but I like that shiplap front wall. One of the first things that catches your eye on this is that just amazing looking nose cap. And they went with a lot of multiple shades and fades and whatnot on it. And it's kind of funny. One of the main questions I've had on that is how big is the windshield? This camper doesn't have a windshield. It sure looks kind of like it gives that visible appearance, but remember, in the bedroom, there was no windshield in that front wall. It had that beautiful looking shiplap. And that's what's kind of cool here. It gives you that sexy eye appeal of kind of like a windshield, but it does so without losing all of the insulation in your nose cap. Because the trick with a windshield is you're just cutting basically a big hole in the front of your camper, you know, so any of your heating and cooling can very easily pour out of it. If you want to prevent that on another RV, I do recommend you pull the window shade down. That'll help. One of the differences on these, you can see right up front here, and that is their HSLA frame. That's high strength, low alloy. It is a Z frame, kind of made a little bit more with an aircraft styling. It is lighter weight, but stronger. The one thing it is not is less expensive. And before we check out the underbelly, I do want to draw your attention to those slide side windows. Remember, Passport 2.0 now has slide side breeze windows, and note that all these are heavily tinted to help keep Mr. Sunshine out of there, to make you not feel like an ant under a magnifying glass. Down below, we do have a heated enclosed underbelly. Passports have a very large 30,000 BTU furnace. It does not have the insulation package of something like a Cougar, but it is pretty normal for things in like a lightweight category. It's made for extended season camping. So if it's going to drop below freezing overnight and then come back up tomorrow, Passport's going to get you through no sweat. It'll also help the air conditioner from bleeding through the floor. I love the little accent colors they put on the rear wall and the slide sides as well. It's just that extra variance that helps catch the eye, break up a little bit of the monotony, but the predominant white skin package on this will help keep the sunshine in check. That also has a white roof up top now, so that will also help keep the sunshine out of there. We are backup camera ready. Another thing that you have outside here are the Key TV hookups. Long story short, Keystone spent a bunch of research money so that you don't have to have like that antenna booster switch anymore. Instead, basically, the system figures out what you're trying to do and it routes your TV and entertainment accordingly. And the good news just keeps on coming over here on the patio side. Take a look at this massive power awning. It's got LED lights below it, the entire length, and you will see it's basically completely unobstructed. There's nothing that's really eating up a lot of like potential patio space. Also note the arm here. It goes past the outside kitchen. So your outside kitchen is covered by the patio awning, which is something a lot of outside kitchens seem to lack. They usually don't have any kind of patio coverage. Now this low profile outside kitchen you're looking at right here, Passport started doing this a couple years ago. It works so well they just never had to change it. It's those dual wing out countertops. They give this thing easily accessible prep space, you know, that comes to you. You don't have to reach in, reach around, up, down, in between anything. It's all just right there and accessible if you want it. If you don't, you just slide that shut and they're out of the way. So it's kind of there when you need it, gone when you don't. We got our 2-burner outside cooktop. And right here we've got either it's like an outside sink or a little outside shower, depending on which of these two attachments you utilize. And up here in this pocket where you could keep some like picnic table type coverage or things like that, you do have outside household outlets too. So it's a handy little thing if you want to put like a little blender over here and have a little outdoor drink station, you could do that too. Speaking of which, outdoor drinks, we got our outside mini fridge. That in conjunction with the fridge outside gives this RV just about 10 cubic foot of cold storage. I think it will actually technically creep over that just slightly. And we have both a fridge and a bathroom facility accessible right from outside without having to truck dirt in and out of the RV. It's pretty cool. Now we saw this when the video first opened. We peeked at it when we were inside. But again, don't forget that you do have a handy little deadbolt here. Some people get really spooked, especially first-time RVers. They're like, someone's going to open the door and the world's going to see me going to the bathroom. I don't want that to happen. No, they won't. You have a deadbolt that you can reach from the toilet if you forget to do it when you walk in. Now, both the front and rear bathrooms have black tank flushes, and it's still amazing how many RVs, even still today, I just talked about this on a 2017 version of this, but how many RVs, even still today, 2 years later, 3 years later, are actually still missing a black flush on their extra half baths. Now down here, we've got wide stance stability axles and some sleek looking aluminum wheels. The reason I want to point these axles out is this RV's a lot of things. It's light, it's got tons of space, it's got a lot of features, but it's long. And people who are new to RVing don't realize you need to factor in a trailer's length against your tow vehicle's wheelbase when determining if it's a safe pairing. It's not just how much does the trailer weigh and what's my tow rating. There's other factors that come into it. But wide stance stability axles, for lack of a better phrase, basically help you cheat the wheelbase so that this long trailer is much, much more manageable in transit. Now, neat thing, you might have noticed how that bathroom door actually had a strut, but our main door here is anti-slam. And where that's really important is when your awning arm is out and one of your kids flings the door like I just did. Or maybe you're having a bad day and you're like, God blast it, and you throw that thing a little bit. Notice how it catches itself? It's dancing a little bit, but it sure didn't smash into anything, and that could save several $100s worth of awning arm repairs. And I think I mentioned it, but just to show you, this is just an easy tilt awning. That's all it takes to tilt that awning down. You push it right back up, put it right back where it was. So if you're looking for a little bit of tilt on the awning, well, 2 fingers is all it takes. You don't have to be some kind of muscle-bound lug or an engineer figuring out how to, you know, wiggle something around. Now down below that, on our main entry door, we've got those MORryde stable steps, those aluminum planks, so it's not slippery when you come and go. Not to mention the fact that it's just super stable. So as kids and people and everybody else is coming and going, it keeps the trailer from rocking and rolling around. Now right up front here, one of the other parts of the Passport 2.0, as I like to call it, redesign, is an expanded front pass-through compartment. I've got my battery box here. I haven't put it on the tongue of the trailer yet because, as you'll see in a second, this trailer is literally still hooked up to the RV delivery driver's truck. We work quickly, we get on top of stuff in here. Now, just like we saw inside, we do have motion lighting here. It was in the off position. You can turn it to just on, off, or motion mode, which will default on for just a few seconds till it senses no movement. So all aluminum skeleton framework all the way through, but I like this expanded like pockets right here on either side of your bedside stand. That's where we're gaining this extra space right here. So if you got bigger, tall stuff, you got plenty of room for it. And that pretty much sums her up, ladies and gentlemen. She has a dynamite look, she's lightweight, we have amazing passport service records with these things. A lot of happy people happen to have a passport behind them. It's not a coincidence. This is one of the most copied lightweights on the market. Potentially the very most. I'm not sure. I haven't done some hard checking on it. And, you know, whether it's giving you information like this, pieces, parts, trades, finance, truck and trailer package deals, RV delivery, and everything between, the only thing Haylett RV doesn't do for you, ladies and gentlemen, is hidden dealer fees. We don't like them, you don't like them, so we don't do them. But short of that, take care, stay safe, have fun, and happy camping, everyone.